Welcome to the Supreme Grammar Podcast, where you can learn to write like a Supreme Court Justice, with me, Jill Barton. Today, our AI hosts explain the organizational framework for analyzing any legal issue, known by the acronyms IRAC or CREAC. You'll follow this structure for memos, exams, and emails you write in law school, your internships, and your legal career. Let's listen in.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a stack of your sources about something really foundational, legal analysis.
That's right.
Now, I know, sounds maybe a bit dry, a bit academic, but honestly, getting these core frameworks down is like a secret weapon for clearer thinking, not just for lawyers.
Absolutely. It's about structuring thought, really.
So our mission today is to unpack two key formats. You've probably heard of them, IREC and CREAC.
Mm-hmm. Issue, rule, analysis, conclusion. And the other.
Inclusion, rule, explanation, analysis, conclusion. We want to show you how mastering these helps anyone build, really solid arguments.
And what's fascinating, I think, is how they provide this logical backbone for complex analysis. It just ensures clarity, precision, helps get your insights across effectively, whatever field you're in.
A logical backbone. I like that. Okay, so let's dive into CREAC first. Conclusion, rule, explanation, analysis, conclusion.
Right.
Starting and ending with the conclusion. Doesn't that, feel a bit like you're putting the cart before the horse? Or maybe biasing the reader right away?
That's a fair question. You'd think so initially, perhaps. But actually, starting with the conclusion, it forces you to be precise.
Oh, so?
Well, it tells the reader exactly where you're heading, right up front. No surprises, It shows you have a clear answer.
Okay.
And honestly, it's what professionals expect. Judges, lawyers, professors, they look for this structure in memos, briefs, opinions. It's sort of the gold standard for analytical legal writing.
Got it. So you state your conclusion. What's the next step in CREAC? How do you build up to it?
Good question. After that initial conclusion, you hit the rule section.
Right.
This is where you lay out the relevant legal principles. Think of it like setting out the rules of the game. Constitutions, statutes, case law, the established precedents.
Okay, the actual laws and interpretations.
Yeah.
And then explanation. You mentioned this is where it gets interesting.
Yes, because it's not just listing rules. The explanation section is where you detail how those rules work. You often use examples.
Examples from other cases.
Exactly. How the law was applied before. These examples show the sort of anchors courts use, the key factors they rely on. It helps you grasp the nuances, the spirit of the law, not just the text.
Anchors. Okay, I like that visual. And then comes the analysis before repeating the conclusion.
Precisely. The analysis is the core application part. You take the rule, informed by the explanation, and apply it directly to the specific facts of your situation.
This is where you connect the dots.
You got it. You build your detailed arguments here, showing why your initial conclusion is correct based on the law and the facts. It ensures everything flows logically.
Makes sense.
Like in that Hamilton v. Walker dog bite case source you shared, that was a tort case, basically a civil wrong claim.
Right, the personal injury aspect.
The court's opinion. Classic CREAC started with the conclusion about liability, explained the first bite rule using older cases, analyzed the specific dog's history.
And then wrapped up by stating the conclusion again. Very clear.
Very clear.
Okay, so CREAC is powerful for the finished product.
Yeah.
But what if you're still figuring things out, exploring the question itself?
Well, that leads us nicely to its cousin, IRAC.
Issue, rule, analysis, conclusion.
The big difference is right there in the first letter. Issue. With IRAC, you start by objectively stating the legal question, the issue you need to resolve, not the answer you've reached.
So for the dog bite case, instead of saying, the walkers aren't liable,
you'd phrase it as a question, something like, the issue is whether the walkers are liable for the bite, given the evidence about their dog's known temperament or propensity, say.
Meaning, did the dog tend to bite?
Right. Did it have that tendency? So IRAC frames the problem first. It's super common for law school exams, bar essays, places where you're showing your analytical process on the fly.
Okay, so it's maybe more of a thinking or testing tool.
It can be. It's fantastic for planning and outlining, even if you ultimately write the final document in CREAC format. And look, while CREAC has that distinct explanation step, good IRAC analysis usually include explanation too. You still need to explain the rule properly. The depth just depends on the issue, not strictly the acronym you pick. These aren't just legal writing tricks, they're tools for powerful communication. period.
It really shifts how you think about presenting information,
Yeah.
making the structure do the heavy lifting for clarity.
It makes your thinking clearer to yourself, too. Helps you spot weaknesses in your own argument before others do.
Even the Supreme Court justices follow IRAC and CREAC when they write opinions. It's a structure that makes sense for helping the writer analyze any legal issue and helping the reader understand your reasoning. Thanks for listening, and remember, you can be a great legal writer.